everybody, I want to talk to you this week about recall. When I use the word recall, I am talking about teaching your puppy to come when called. And before I even get to showing you videos of what that looks like, I really want to focus on the things that you need to be really careful about. And the number one rule right now is that you cannot use the word come unless you are absolutely certain that you are going to get the correct behavior. Meaning that when you say your puppy's name and come, that they're going to run to you with speed and enthusiasm when you use that cue one time. So I'm gonna say for a lot of puppies, that sort of cancels out about 95% of the time when you would actually want to use it. So we'll also talk a little bit about, well, how do you get your puppy to come to you if you can't use the word come? But the reality is we're going to use that word when we're practicing, when we're setting up situations that we know we can be successful. And the rest of the time, I'll show you other tricks and tips to get your puppy to enthusiastically chase you or run to you. Number two with recall is that when we are using our word come and we're practicing, I really want you to find maybe one or two or three treats that your puppy never gets for anything else. They are the top level, most delicious things your puppy could think of. So what might that be? It might be, I made some salmon last night. I pulled all the skin off and I cut it up into little pieces. Sometimes if you don't grill it and it's crispy, you could put it in the microwave for a little bit, just rip off little pieces. You can even mix that in with some kibble so everything tastes really salmon, oily. Maybe roast chicken if your puppy likes chicken. Maybe teeny tiny pieces of cut up hot dog or fake hot dogs. Little pieces of string cheese. These are all things that would be considered really high value treats. Those are the things that I want you to use for recall, and I only would want you to use those for practicing come. So a few other things. I want you to pick one word that's gonna be your recall word. You can have other words or just do their name, like we've been practicing name game, if you just want the dog to acknowledge you or come closer to you. But your recall word, if it is come, means you stop what you're doing, you run to me with absolute speed and enthusiasm, and eventually you sit right in front of me. That's kind of the finished product. So I don't want you to have 5 different words that mean that. I want you to have one word. I have a lot of clients that have said to me, Allie, my dog does not come when called. Every time I use the word come, I don't get the right result. The only way I can get my puppy to come to me is when I use the word treat or cookie. And my answer to that is you actually have trained a recall. You have trained the perfect recall. It's just that your recall word now is treat or cookie because the dog understands the value and what's going to happen when they respond with speed and enthusiasm. They get cookies. We tend to use our recall words. This is going back to what I said in the beginning, that you really only want to use it when you are certain of the outcome. But we tend to sometimes use the word come when the end result might not be great for your puppy. What would examples of that look like? I need to leave for the day. So I call my puppy, he comes to me, and then maybe I give him a cookie, but then I put him in his crate for 2 hours. That might not be, you sometimes need to look at 2 or 3 steps beyond the actual coming when called because the end result wasn't great. I bring my puppy to the beach or to the park. They're running around having the best time of their life. I say, come, my puppy comes in, I hook him up to a leash and we leave. Even if I give them cookies when they first get there, that end result isn't great. Down the road, we can use that word for anything and everything. When it's a conditioned response, when the dog doesn't think about anything, it's just muscle memory. But for now in the training process, we have to be really careful. So again, to recap, we are going to make sure that we are only using that word when we're practicing and we're certain of the outcome for right now. We are not going to use our recall word when the end result is not 100% amazing for our puppy. We're going to make sure we have one word that we're training, and it can be whatever you want. Come, here, cookie, treat. And the last part is that we are finding those special treats that we're only using for recall. When I'm doing some demos with the puppies, I'm also going to show you how I work in special toys. I tend to also, in addition to the treats, want to have special toys that I build tons of value for that only come out when we're practicing recall. So it's sort of the same thing as the treats. So those are kind of our top things that we're going to focus on when we are working with puppies today, and you'll get to see what that looks like in just a minute.